We are 48 schools across 14 cities, but together we are one Shawnee mission, because kids.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Shawnee Mission Mic'd Up. This is Season 3, Episode 1.
Season 3. We made it through our first season. We're back.
We're back. Yeah, year 2 for you and I in these seats. We had a wonderful last season.
So much fun.
I would be remiss, Dr. Gonzer, if I didn't welcome you back. We finished last year without you.
Yes.
You were attending to your family. Tell us about your addition.
We welcomed a new little one in April. So we had our second kiddo. So we've got a girl and a boy now, and it's just a fun time. So we're in that season of life right now where it's controlled chaos. So at least we have the illusion of control, right?
But beautiful.
It's fabulous. Yeah, we're really enjoying it. And yeah, it's really good to be back. I genuinely mean that. Obviously I love spending time with my kids at home, but feel really blessed to have the privilege to serve our kids too. So,
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Glad to be here.
Well, we stationed on without you, but we missed you a lot. So
I was keeping tabs on you.
Were you
guys.
keeping
Don't
tabs?
worry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's awesome to have you back, and we're excited for Season 3. Of course, we're kicking off the beginning of the school year, and we want to talk about what that entails here in Shawnee Mission. We did that last year.
Yeah.
So we kind of a revisit of that kind of episode.
Yeah, different approach this year, but yeah, I think it's still so important that people know all just the labor of love, right, that goes into prepping for the school year. We can't speak to it enough.
Yeah. And those that are watching online can see that we have a new desk.
Right?
Look at this. It's amazing.
Yeah, we're fancy.
We're stepping it up. You want to talk about our friends who helped us out with this?
Yeah, we couldn't have done it without our partners at Freedom Interior. So huge thanks to them. They have been proudly featured in our podcasts for the previous 2 seasons. And they just said, hey, let's upgrade you guys a little bit. And
it's amazing.
For that.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So it's wonderful.
Yeah, so each year, I think our community knows this, we have a theme. We establish a theme, and it's no secret what this theme is. We're wearing the shirts.
It's everywhere.
Because kids. And so we're pushing that out. It's really centering our work this year. This is dropping on August 7th, I think. Yeah. We're really celebrating that idea. But maybe start off with, as you've reflected on it, as you have, been participating in the start of the school year, what's Because Kids mean to you?
Yeah. I think Because Kids has to be the answer to every question, right? Like whenever the question is in the room, wherever you may be in that conversation, the answer's got to be Because Kids. So whatever things are going on in the background, we've got to come back to that. And as I've been thinking about it more, it's really kind of the answer to the question of last year's theme, right? Because last year it was all in.
All in.
And how many times did we ask somebody, well, why are you all in? Because
kids, right?
Yeah. So that's kind of how I've been thinking about it in my mind. What about you? You got to take some credit for this pretty awesome thing here, right?
I will, I guess. So Dr. Stubblefield tells a story. So I was pushing this uphill all last spring, and I had this idea.
I can attest to that. Yes.
Right. And so every time I would mention it to someone, they'd be like, yeah, okay, let's workshop that. Let's talk about it. And we came up with some really good alternative ideas,
Yep.
But nothing really resonated with at least me, and I think the rest of the team as well. I think we wanted to keep it simple. Let's, as we're continuing to get pressure from outside the school district, and maybe, I'll say it, attacks on public schools, to me, let's keep it simple. Let's talk about the why all of us, all 4,000 employees are involved in this school district and public school across the country. It's Because Kids, right? And so it is the answer in my mind. And so if you look at the graphic, it's, an ellipsis, ... Because Kids, because it is the answer to a question. So, we'll continue to focus on belonging, making sure that every single student, every single staff member, every single community member feels a sense of belonging in the school district. Why? Because kids, right? Because kids deserve that. It's the answer to everything. So I love it. It's really kind of gaining some traction. I think people are understanding the why.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's something that we can all be so proud of, right? Is, yes, it is the answer to the question. It is what motivates us every single day. And I think we should all feel really proud, too, that, our superintendent, you get sucked into a lot of things that maybe aren't always about kids. But the fact that that's what you're reminding us to focus on, that's going to make us all feel pretty proud, too. Yeah. So I think the theme is fabulous for the year.
I appreciate you calling that out. And for me, and that's maybe why it resonated so much with me, is because of those times in which I'm doing things that, on the surface don't look like they really directly impact kids. But for me, how I laid my head down at night and really was okay with how I spent my day as well. I think that this is benefiting our kids in some way. So I love that call out. So thank you.
Wow.
Something new that we're going to do for this podcast this year, we're continuing to talk about being ridiculously positive.
Yes.
That was something that really resonated again last year with our community. Something that my predecessor did. I thought it was amazing. She created these shout out shirts, Dr. Hubbard. Mm-hmm. And this year our shout out shirts are ridiculously positive. They say it on, I think the graphics really cool.
They're awesome. And they've always been a hot commodity, right? Like people get pretty excited. I know I get pretty excited about a shout out shirt.
So how do we use the shout out shirts? Remind our community.
Yeah, absolutely. So just we have the fortunate position to get to be in every building, everywhere, and just seeing what's going on. So when you're out and about and you see something, you're like, man, that's cool. We need to recognize that. Even just a small gesture can mean so much. It's just, having those handy, being able to say, hey, appreciate what you do for kids every day. Appreciate, all the extra effort you're putting in. And just, giving one of those and a personal note to somebody. I mean, I know for me personally, that just brightens your day, right? Just a great reminder. So it's a ton of fun to get to do that. So I'm glad we're carrying that on.
It really is. And so those shout out shirts are going out. And so in this podcast, we're going to kind of call out what we've been ridiculously positive about in the past week. And so here's your opportunity. How about for you? What have you been ridiculously positive about?
It's almost not fair because it's the beginning of the school year, right? Yep. Everything's ridiculously positive. It's all fun. It's all the wonderful things. But I would just be remiss if I didn't call out seeing our new team members, right? Everybody knows New Team Member Academy is near and dear to my heart, but the looks on their faces will never get old, right? And having the opportunity to welcome them, some of them were their very first experience with teaching, and I don't think we can ever take that for granted. So just getting the opportunity to meet them will always be a highlight for me.
Yeah, I love that too. And I just love our profession so much. I mean, it's the opportunity to do all of this prep work and preparation to get kids walking through the doors.
Yeah.
I just love it every year. It's just so much fun. For me, I get an opportunity to speak in front of a lot of people at the beginning of the year.
Yes, you do.
I was kind of apprehensive about it last year, just all of that unknown. I've kind of accepted it, I guess. And I love it. I love the idea of being a part of building that climate and culture in the school district. I think that's so important for any organization. And I'm so proud of the climate and the culture of this school district. I think we do an amazing job. It's not simply me, it's all of us building that. It's our principals working with our educators and pushing out these ideas and making sure everyone has their ladder on the right wall. So I love that. So, leadership retreat was great. Get a chance to talk with our administrators.
You get to see their personalities.
You get to see their personalities. You get to see mine a little bit, I kind of let the hair down a little bit during leadership retreat, so that was a lot of fun. Secretary breakfast was great, our office staff breakfast. We do a cookout here at CAA. Again, I mean, there's some technical things that we have to do, and we do, but building that climate and culture, making sure that people feel, again, belonging and feel like this is a home, home away from home. We're competing for employees, right? So you want to make sure that they feel like, hey, this is a place that's fun to work, and we're having an impact on the world.
Yeah, and I think we talk all the time about the relationships within our schools and our classrooms, and it's the same thing all across our district, right? Is we genuinely want people to feel like, hey, you're connected to this place, right? And I guess that's what makes the beginning of every school year so special. It's a good reminder of that.
I agree.
There's been a lot of fun too.
A lot of fun. Yeah. What do we have next on our list here?
Oh, so we're going to talk about just some of the highlights, things we have to look forward to for the year, make sure everybody's kind of in the know about what's going on and what they can expect to hear more about. Of course, we've got a lot continuing with our strategic plan.
Yeah.
Some big things coming. That first year we were really getting everything off the ground, right?
Yep.
And starting the work, and we're in it now.
We're in it.
We're making it happen. So anything that jumps out at you that's coming up this year?
Yeah, maybe kind of circling back to last year, one of the big boulders, big rocks, if you will, was the cell phone policy. That work started off, a year ago last year, that our board really listened to our staff and listened to our recommendation and accepted that. And from my perspective, again, it's going really well out to schools. Oh. We need to implement that with fidelity as we start this school year. We have some recommendations around guidance counselors at the elementary level, so we'll need to be taking a look at that this year. I know we have a recommendation on that. Two big pieces that I think I would call out, and then maybe ask you to kind of elaborate on the one, is artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Big topic.
huge topic. And it's one of those topics that's so big, it goes beyond us as a school district, right? We're going to look at it through our lens, but it's a big topic everywhere, no matter what industry you're in right now. So we've got to figure out what this means for us in education and, have some critical conversations and engage with everyone and get their input. And we're so lucky to have just an incredible team leading that work.
Yeah, who's going to do that?
So, a lot of our friends in our ICT department are leading up that work. So, of course, Drew Lane will be helping us with that, and fabulous Miss Jenny Collier as well. They're working together to lead these action teams and just try to, align what we're doing in our work with really just where the world is going, right? And, what does that mean for us as educators? So it's going to be a big task. Like I said, we're going to need to hear from a lot of different people. Big things like this take time. You want to take the time, do it right. But I think it'll be just a great conversation and to hear what's on people's minds, because when you say AI, everybody thinks something different.
Right.
So let's hear what's on people's mind.
It can be around efficiency. I think we can become more nimble and more efficient as an organization as we accept what artificial intelligence is. But then there's also the student academic side, and how do we balance that? And how do we leverage the worth of AI?
Yeah, what does it mean for learning, right?
Yeah. So really excited to see what kind of work that team does. Another big piece that I'm guessing our community will be interested in, if anyone's taking a look at our strategic plan, the Gantt chart, we do have a schedule to make a recommendation to our Board of Education on a new bond referendum.
Right, yeah.
In this year, during the third quarter. Dr. Stubblefield, Mr. Knapp will lead that team. People who have heard me talk probably get tired of hearing me say, strong public schools build strong neighborhoods, they build strong communities, and part of that is having really vibrant buildings that are up to date, that our kids can learn into the best of their abilities. We're proof of that. We are never satisfied with the learning spaces that our students have, and if we can upgrade those and stay on top of that, I think that's a value to our entire community. So that work will be taking place this school year as well.
And that's exciting, right? Like our schools really are those gathering places for our communities, right? Whether it's actual school events or just, coming up and playing on the playground on the weekend, or they are where our communities gather. So that's exciting for those communities. And we've got so much to celebrate from the last bond that's just wrapping up.
Yeah. So we will be opening up a new elementary school, Tomahawk.
Yes.
And you've been a big part of that?
Incredible.
It looks great, right?
Wow. Yeah. It's totally different from anything we've ever done, right? It doesn't look like any other school here or anywhere else, I don't think. It's just when you pull up there, if you haven't had the opportunity to see it, just drive by, right? Just cruise down Lamar real quick, and you see just this beautiful playground right as you enter. And I just think that kind of half circle design, it just kind of wraps around, and it's just a very close-knit space. It's awesome.
I probably shouldn't have favorite buildings, so I won't say it's my favorite.
I don't think you're allowed to.
But it's great. It's so unique.
So unique.
The design is really centered around students and teaching and learning. It's going to be a great space for that community.
That community is so excited. I've seen some of them up there kind of just sneaking a peek and open up there. I'm like, I don't blame you. I did the same thing.
Real quickly, we did have some remaining bond dollars from the last bond that we've been great stewards of that money.
Wow.
And so our community, I think, knows this, but as a reminder, we are looking at, we are going to be building a new early childhood center on the old Catherine Carpenter site. So that work is steamrolling ahead. Again, Dr. Stubblefield and that team, Sherry Dummeline, Dr. Neal, are working on that. And so we'll continue to update our community on that.
Yeah, and that's huge. I think investing in early childhood education is so critical, and we've seen more and more over the years the importance of that. And I think that makes a statement on our behalf, right? Like this is important to us. It's not an afterthought. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yep. So let's talk a little bit more about the podcast. Last year we made an effort to really try to emphasize more students, or to get students involved as much as we can in the episodes, bring in teachers as well. But one of the things that we saw with the data that our communications team looks at is when we're able to highlight specific individual stories around people, those are the ones that resonated the most. Can you think of maybe a couple that call out to you?
Yeah, I think there were so many from last season. I know getting to know the students who joined us on our winter episode, that I think just getting to see people one-on-one and getting to get a better feel for their personalities is what made that episode so fun. We were not nearly as entertaining as them, by the way.
The talking turkey one.
Yes, that was great.
That was great.
That was a fun time. Yeah, and the bistro, and yeah, you're right. It's just kind of looking at those stories. It's not so much about the programs and the high level as it is like who are the people and the faces behind the work, and once you get to know them, it's just all the more special. So.
That's right. Yeah. So in saying that, we're going to try to really individualize some of these episodes coming up, really tell those specific stories. So look to that. At the end of each episode, we always call out to our community, give us ideas. So honestly, if there's an individual teacher or a student, you name it, that you think would be a good story for us to tell, please let our communications team know so that we can highlight that great work.
Yeah, and so we can keep our communications team on their toes and not be in the studio.
There you go. I love it.
I know we love that.
I love it when we get out of the studio. I mean, this place is great, but just getting out into our community, so awesome. So
no doubt.
One of the cool things that all of our teachers do every school year as they give of their time, even before contract, right? To make sure that our kids, when they walk in that first day, they're walking into the warmest, most inviting environment possible. And so we've been able to do that. We went out to Miss Meyer's classroom.
We did. We got to go over to Ray Marsh Elementary, and it was just a great example because it's all of our staff, teachers, no matter what role they're in. There's so much care that goes into preparing for the beginning of the school year, and just the things that they think about, right? Like they're like, hey, if I could just make this one first impression or do this one thing, it'll make a difference. And just getting to kind of be in her shoes for a little bit and do some of that work was great.
She put us to work a little bit.
Yeah, it was fun.
I don't know how helpful we were, but we had fun.
Yeah, I think we were helpful.
A little bit, yeah. So let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at Miss Meyer's classroom and see the work that we did.
Yes.
Well, Dr. Gonzer, we're at Ray Marsh Elementary School. Are you excited?
I am pumped. We're in a classroom and we're in an elementary school, Mike, so I'm excited.
This is it,
I'm
right?
all about it.
Yeah, we're ridiculously positive. It's because kids, that's our theme this year, which we've been talking about.
Yes.
We're here with Miss Myers. Welcome, Miss Myers.
Hello. Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Absolutely. Why don't you introduce yourself to our audience?
I'm Miss Meyer. I teach 3rd grade here at Ray Marsh.
And what year is it for you?
2nd year.
2nd year. Yep. You ready for year 2?
Yes, past the 1st year teacher, so
That's strong. So last year, everything was new, right? I'm sure you took a few things from year 1 going into year 2. What's different starting year 2 versus year 1?
Oh my gosh. Well, this year I have a lot more kids in my class. Okay. So, but besides that, I have my feet on the ground with curriculum and I know people and I know some of the kids. So that makes a huge difference for
year 2 is amazing. Yeah. Because everything's not new.
And I'm twice as excited because I have that already ready. So
I'm in year 2 as well. Yeah. So we have that in common. I'm feeling a little more prepared as you are. Yeah. I haven't set up my office any different, but we're here to help you set up your classroom. Yeah, we're super excited about that.
All right, let's get to it. Put us to work.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Should we start with the morning meetings? Or wait, no, let's start with desks.
So 24 desks.
Yeah, 24 desks. So we're going to have either 6 groups of 4 or 4 groups of 5 and 1 group of 4.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. Which I'm thinking that route because then there's less groups.
Okay. So groups of 5 first?
Yes. So let's do 4 groups of 5 first and then 1 group of 4.
4 groups of 5. A lot of people don't understand all of the work that our teachers do before the kids even get here, right? I mean, we're filming well before kids.
Yeah. Before we have to come in.
Before you get to, and you're giving up your time. And many of our teachers, if not all of our teachers, are doing that.
We were talking about it when we were like, gosh, we want to get the podcast going. Are people even going to be back yet? And we said, yeah, people are back there. We know.
But this is fun, right?
Yeah, I love it. It's so much fun coming in. And having people like my community coming in and helping me is amazing. So, yeah.
So secondary guy, I don't fully understand the nuances of the elementary, but I'm learning it. We talk about every time that I do building visits. I love morning meeting. I love circle time. Do you have your class roster? Do you know the kids?
Yes, okay. I don't know. It's not necessarily final yet, but I think so.
Pretty close. Yeah. So talk about some of the things that you're excited about for this school year. Is your year 2?
Yeah.
What are you most excited about?
I'm excited because I know a lot of the families coming in. So, and I've seen the 2nd graders in the hallway. So knowing who's kind of coming in, and I have some connections with some of my students actually with their families. So I'm so excited to see the kids.
Yeah.
It makes it so worth it when they come in and they see the book nook and all the things. It's the best.
Because kids, right? That's why we're back early. We put so much work into it because we know they're coming. Yeah. So
Well, Natalie, thank you so much for allowing us to come in and help you set up your classroom. It was amazing.
Of course. Thank you for helping. Yeah.
And Brittany, we were talking like this is happening across our entire district. Our teachers are giving their time, making sure that when the kids walk through that door the very first day that they feel warm and welcome and a sense of belonging. We were talking about that too.
Yeah, that's a huge part of it is you want that first moment that kids walk into your classroom to feel like, okay, this is a place for me, right? I see myself in this space and just so appreciative for all the teachers across our district and districts everywhere, but especially right here at home for going above and beyond for our kids and making sure they have that first day feeling because
absolutely.
It pays dividends all year long, right? When your kids feel like they belong and you build that class family, there's nothing better.
I think we were helpful. Yeah.
We absolutely. We were helpful, right? So
nicely.
Maybe chime into the social media and tell us how helpful we were. But Ms. Myers is great. Second year teacher, so excited. And one of the things I love, and I think it's across all grade levels, but I see it especially in elementary schools. It's like their own little design, right? They put their own personal touch on it. Creativity. It's just so awesome. So
yeah, and there's so many traditions and things that go into it, and just those things that they're like, this worked great last year. I want to try something new this year, and I think every year as a teacher, you just evolve and try new things. So it's cool to get to see that.
Yeah. So that's going to wrap up our first episode, talking about the beginning of the new school year. We're so excited again about the theme, about remaining ridiculously positive, highlighting those great personal stories out there in the Shawnee Mission School District. So hope you guys enjoyed it. We're going to be focusing on those things moving forward.
We are, yeah. And so we'll continue to drop our episodes on Thursdays, right? Is that still the plan for
That's still the plan, yes.
Okay, great. All right. So what we're doing next is pretty exciting.
Yeah, we've already kind of teased it a little bit, but we love going on site and talking with our friends. So of course we're opening up this brand new elementary school. So we're going to be out at the new Tomahawk Elementary, and so our folks can get a look at that, what it really looks like.
It's going to be awesome. We can't wait to share it with everybody.
Right.
So, yeah. Well, and with that in mind, we got to thank our communications team, right? They're always making these things happen, and whatever crazy idea we come up with next, they're always game for. So, yeah.
And then we're going to continue with the featured photo. Yeah. And at Leadership Retreat, you guys did a really cool thing, Human Scrabble. Talk with us about what that looked like.
Yeah, we talked about culture building, right? And you got to have a little fun at these things. So, yes, we played Human Scrabble at Leadership Retreat. So imagine all of our principals, district staff with letters around their neck, like little Scrabble pieces, and they were building words that referenced Because Kids all throughout the 2 days that they were together. So words, phrases, fun things. They were sharing them out. It was great to see what they came up with. Again, you really see those personalities shine. But this one, it's very fitting. Mrs. Ramsey was a part of this group, so she's the principal at Ray Marsh, where we just were. And they spelled out familia with their words, or with their letters, I should say. It might not have been the winning photo, but it's not all about winning, right? It was great. So.
Still a great idea, very creative. So we're going to continue doing that. Shout out to Miss Ramsey and that entire team. It looks great, and I know that everyone had a wonderful time. So again, thank you everyone for joining us. Welcome back to this podcast. Hope everyone continues to tune in. Remember that we are one Shawnee Mission, because kids.